Hey everyone! So if you clicked on this video, you're going to go ahead and follow along while I read through the Missouri Compromise here. And while we read through this, I'm going to explain a couple things. We'll look at the map together, talk through a couple of the questions and what they say. However, I am not going to give you any of the answers to any of the questions. So that's up to you to do. All right? So we're going to go ahead. You guys go ahead, open up Google Classroom. Okay? Hopefully you've already found it. Click on that. You got the Missouri Compromise. So let's go ahead and read through this. Make sure if you guys decide to answer this in a Google Doc, make a copy of this, put your name at the top, that sort of thing. Okay? All right. Expansion of slavery into the territories. Slavery had been a topic of discussion in America since the United States became its own country. Over time, the country grew in size as territories and states were added to the Union. Each time a new area was added to the country, there were discussions, that should say discussions, let me go ahead and fix that right now. Okay. Each time a new area was added into the country, there were discussions over whether or not slavery should be allowed in the new land. So basically, they were debating when a territory became a state in the country, should slavery be allowed to exist there or not? Okay. The Louisiana Purchase caused the first heated national debate over the expansion of slavery into new territories. All right, Missouri Compromise, 1820, starting right here. In 1819, the Missouri Territory, part of the Louisiana Purchase, asked Congress for admission as a state. Most Missouri settlers had come from Kentucky and Tennessee, which allowed slavery. They believed slavery ought to be legal in Missouri. One member of Congress proposed the Missouri, One member of Congress proposed that Missouri gradually abolish slavery in order to be admitted to the Union. The House passed this plan, but the Senate blocked it. At the time, the population in the North was slightly larger than in the slave states of the South. Consequently, the North had 105 members in the House of Representatives compared to the South's 81 members. Representation in the Senate was balanced, with 11 slave states and 11 free states. The addition of Missouri as a free state would put the South in the minority in both houses of Congress. Okay, so the South's going to be really concerned about this because they don't want to have less representation in both the House of Representatives and the Senate. Okay, fearing a split in the Union, Henry Clay suggested the Missouri Compromise. The Missouri Compromise addressed the question of slavery in the rest of the Louisiana Purchase territory. The compromise drew a line. You guys can see it down here on the map, right here. Go ahead and circle that for you. Okay. The compromise drew a line west from the southern boundary of Missouri. Okay. So basically, we'll talk about that in just a second when we analyze the map. Okay. So next, we'll move on to the Missouri Compromise map analysis. Here. Okay. So we're going to analyze this map right here. Okay. And we're going to figure out exactly what did the Missouri Compromise do. So let's go ahead and look at our key on the map, right? Looking right here, and I'm going to go ahead and erase our circle we drew over here. I think you guys can see that line pretty well. Okay, so let's look at this. So states formed by the Missouri Compromise have lines through them. So if we look back over here, we have lines here, and we have lines up here, and that's going to be important. Remember this up here, okay? Next, we're going to look at the green, and it says free states and territories closed to slavery. So basically, according to the Missouri Compromise, if you have green, you cannot have slavery there. Okay? So over here and all the way up here, there is no slavery in these areas. And then, lastly, orange, okay, slave states and territories open to slavery. Okay? So basically, if a state is in orange, slavery is allowed there and can happen there. Okay, so that would be all of this area here. All right. Now, let's go ahead and read through our questions. So, figuring out the results of the Missouri Compromise. One, we have the number of free states and the number of slave states. So, what you're going to have to do is go through and count the number of free states and the number of slave states. Make sure you look closely, zoom in if need be, because there's some small ones over here. Make sure you get all of those. Okay? Do not count the territories, okay? The Arkansas Territory, the Unorganized Territory, and the Michigan Territory do not count. We're asking for states, not territories, okay? And you can tell if it's territory because it'll say territory, R-T-E-R-R, next to it, all right? Then we have which two states were added to the United States as part of the Missouri Compromise, okay? So that you'll have to use the lines here to go and figure out which two states, which two, were added to the United States as part of this compromise, okay? And then what is the latitude of the Missouri Compromise line? Okay, so you have to read the map, figure out what latitude this line is at. And then lastly, this compromise was trying to keep representation in one of the houses of Congress equal. Okay, remember? Talked about before how they were equal in the houses of Congress. Now they're trying to make sure that they still remain equal in one of those houses. Okay? Which of the houses continued to have equal representation from slave states and free states? Excuse me, was it the House of Representatives or the Senate? So you guys can circle which one you think it is or write it down. And then, do you think this was an effective compromise? Was this a good compromise? Do you think this solved the problems and concerns that the South had with the Missouri becoming a state? So that is all for today. I hope you guys are doing well. Once again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me through email or remind. Thanks for listening and have a great day.